Hola a todos, bienvenidos a todos. Hello everybody. Ay, tengo que bajar el volumen de esto. A ver, tengo esta placa de escayola, no sé si os acordaréis, pero hice esta placa de escayola hace muchísimo tiempo. La hice con la técnica del estampado en negativo, sobre una placa de arcilla, ¿no? Entonces está el vídeo por ahí, puede que lo hayáis visto. Y tenía pendiente tallar las dos figuras, porque sí que tenía claro que las dos figuras y seguramente algún detalle por arriba quiero hacerlos en talla, ¿no? I was saying that maybe you can remember that a few months ago I make this relief with the negative stamping technique. With a little bit of clay, I just stamp all the shapes in negative on the clay and I put plaster on that. So that's the plaster from the day. The video is around, so maybe you have seen it. If not, you can find it easily, I think. And the two figures, they were planned to be carved since then, but I haven't made it yet, so today is the day. So I have two flat figures here, and the first thing I need to do, of course, is to draw all the details I want. I'm going to make them from, as usual in a sculpture, from the general shapes to the small shapes. I think it's always a good idea to work in this way. Bueno, como es normal en escultura y como es imprescindible en talla, vamos a ir trabajando siempre de formas generales a detalles, ¿no? Es decir, primero vamos grande, pues me refiero, por ejemplo, a que lo primero que voy a hacer es marcar las partes que van detrás. Esta pierna está por detrás de esta, por tanto lo primero que tengo que hacer es indicar eso, rebajar al menos todo el principio de la pierna. Como habéis visto, he mojado un poco la escayola. Siempre conviene tenerla un poquito húmeda. Sobre todo porque es más dulce de tallar, ¿no? Seca también va bien, lo que pasa que puede ser un poquito áspero a veces. Es una cuestión de sensaciones más que nada concreto. Entonces, como veis, ya está esta pierna pasando por detrás. El relieve es muy pequeño, por lo tanto no puedo hacer grandes incisiones. Va a tener que ser todo muy sutil, es un muy bajo relieve. Entonces simplemente voy a marcar los planos. Este pie está detrás, por tanto tengo que rebajarlo. El relieve es un arte maravilloso, estupendo, que a mí me encanta, que tendría que trabajar más y cultivar más, y que tiene sus propias reglas, su propia lógica y su propio mundo. Por lo tanto, aunque pudiera parecer lógico, y lo sería por ejemplo en un relieve renacentista, que si este pie está detrás tendría que rebajar todo el pie. En cambio no voy a hacer eso, voy a rebajar simplemente lo que está en contacto con esta pierna. Eso sería más un bajo relieve egipcio, lo harían así. Venga, pues vamos a centrarnos en esta parte de aquí. Vamos a empezar con esta forma de aquí. I was saying that I love reliefs and I think I should make more reliefs. And yeah, we have to understand that the relief is not exactly a sculpture. It's another thing, it's another art, and it has its own rules and its own ways to be understood. And we have also different types of reliefs of how we understand this art. So it's not the same an Egyptian relief, for example, that a Renaissance thing. A ver si así se ve mejor. Ay, si le doy un golpe y no se ve lo que estoy haciendo, por favor avisadme. ¿Se ve algo mejor o no? Bueno, no lo sé. Well, so, for example, an Egyptian relief is not the same than a Renaissance relief. For example, the Renaissance, it's more kind of logic. When things are away, we are making them lower. So, for example, this feet is here and this feet, it's in the other side, it's underneath this level, I should make all the feet going down in a Renaissance style relief. But I'm in Egypt now, and I'm not going to do it. And I prefer the Egyptian reliefs than the Renaissance. They are less logic maybe, but I think they work better. And for the reliefs, it's also better to understand them as drawings than trying to understand them like the sculpture, for example. It's a kind of drawing, really. Okay, I'm trying to convert this flat shape into a round shape, but of course it's not round everywhere. It has to be more straight here and more rounded here. The lighting is awful here, and lighting is very important for the reliefs. I'm going to try, how is it now? I'm going to try one thing. It's maybe too much. Now that's burning. Well, let's continue as we were. For cleaning the tools, you know, the best way is a wire brush. Bueno, ya sabéis que para limpiar las herramientas lo mejor es un cepillo de púas, de alambre. Y también va muy bien tener una brocha a mano para poder ir todo. Y lo que es importantísimo, lo que es clave para los relieves, es una luz muy rasante, ¿eh? La luz cuanto más rasante mejor. Así acercando esto un poco, así aún gana un poquito más. Sí. Os decía que es lo más importante de todo para un relieve, es como si fuera un dibujo, son los contornos. Hay que trabajar muy bien los contornos de la pieza. Por lo tanto, siempre me gusta darle un poquito de margen a la escayola para poder retirar después. Entonces hay que trabajar siempre todos los contornos con el máximo amor posible. In reliefs, it's like in drawing, line drawing, the most important thing is the contour line. Even more than the volume we are creating, we need to draw everything very well, very sharp, in a very strong shape. So that's why I usually try, happened here, but I usually try to have more material than I need when I'm starting. Vamos a hacer el muslo ahora. Virginia me pregunta, ¿cómo las arreglas si se te va un poco la mano? Pues que no se te vaya. No, la clave es, cuando trabajas pensando que no te puedes equivocar, trabajas más en serio. Entonces, hay poca broma. Y lo digo en serio, de verdad. Cuanto menos sepas que puedes corregir, mejor vas a trabajar. Y si por lo que sea se me va la mano, y se me va, quiero decir, no es que no se me vaya, lo normal es que de vez en cuando tengas algún problema, intento corregirlo un poco como las películas de Marvel de ahora, ¿no? Que nada es trascendente, porque alguien se muere no pasa nada, porque lo puedes ir a buscar de otro multiverso y este tipo de cosas. Pues no, yo prefiero no permitirme esas reglas, aunque sean físicamente posibles. Cuando hago trabajo de talla, no hay rectificación, es decir, no hay arreglo posible a que se me vaya la mano, a no ser que sea, pues seguir cavando. Es decir, si yo ahora, por ejemplo, aquí hago un agujero muy grande, pues a lo mejor tendré que rebajarlo todo un pelín para encontrar la solución. No sé si me explico. Pero de verdad, no me parece bien lo de tener siempre la opción de control Z, de deshacer. Eso hace que trabajemos con más pereza. No sé si tiene sentido lo que estoy diciendo. Now, Virginia just asked me now in Spanish, and I think it's a very good question. What happens if I carve too much, if I make a mistake? How I can solve that? And I say that so don't make a mistake. That's the point. If you are working knowing that you can solve everything, you can fix everything, your work is going to be more relaxed, more less transcendent, let's say, and you will be less concentrated. So I prefer to work as if there were no solution for that, so I'm not going to make that mistake. Of course, sometimes I do, but if I do these mistakes, I try to solve it in the carving. I don't want to add material, even if it's physically possible. That's probably one of the things, and you probably hear the word marvel, is the thing that I like less from the Marvel movies, from the superheroes, is that anything is possible now, anything is transcendent. So, because everybody can die, it's not a problem, because if someone dies and we need him, we can go to other universe and take him, and this doesn't be needed to be the same actor. So everything is possible, and that means that anything is important. So if I work thinking that every movement I'm making is it's definitive, it can't be solved, I will be more concentrated, and I will try to make it better. Do you have a name for this piece? No, not yet. I usually choose the name when it's completely finished. I still don't have a name for the medieval book I showed you yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I still don't have a name for that, so I'm thinking about it. Well, for example, in this shape, you can see that I have like a dim area here. Okay, these are robots, so I can imagine why the lighting is so bad today. Is that a problem? How do you see it? Because I feel that the quality is awful. Well, how do you see it now? I will try to make a zoom so maybe we can see it better. Well, I was saying that I have a dim area here. You can see it better with the light. Oh, maybe I should do that. Sorry, I'm trying to improvise things. I I should have checked that before. I know. I think it's better now. Sorry, let me just fix this, and I think we will be all more comfortable. Okay, let's see where can I put this. Yeah. I think it's a little bit better. Yes. Oh, sorry. I just erased a comment from AG. I don't know why. Sorry. It was a mistake. I didn't want to do that. Dejar de ocultar. Sorry. It was not on purpose. I was playing with the camera and I touched something. So sorry. Francisco Javier Sanchez is asking, are they alien robots? Well, they are robots, yes, and they are strange. So I don't know exactly where are they from. They have this strange head that it could be from alien, it could be from old civilization also. So there's a lot of references for that. I don't know. I'm preparing a video about in the process of having an idea and deciding this kind of things. So yes, we can say that they are alien robots, but I don't know exactly where are they from. Okay, this is more or less working. I need to reduce here. Virginia me pregunta que cómo va mi proyecto de mi libro. ¿Te refieres a un libro de papel? Muy atrasado. De hecho, no ha salido de la parte de proyecto, no hay nada aún concreto. Pero ahora sí que estoy con unas nuevas esculturas que sí que están basadas en portadas de libros medievales, extraterrestres o futuristas o lo que tú quieras. Es algo así. I know this is not the fastest process in the world, and I know it can be very frustrating because we can't see the progress very fast. I'm looking for a tool, I can't find it. Well, and now I'm going to draw the contour line that I said before is the most important thing in relief, to have a very strong and clean and neat contour line. So these plates are going to be outside, and the mechanism part, the inside part is going to be a little bit in the interior. So I have to make like removing. ¿Estos dibujos son tuyos o de Francesc? Estos son míos. Estos son míos. Aunque ahora voy a hacer una escultura, un semi-relieve también, basado en un dibujo de Francesc, porque seguramente vamos a hacer algo juntos muy pronto. Entonces siempre hemos compartido fuentes de inspiración y yo siempre he modelado sus esculturas, él ha dibujado yo siempre he modelado sus dibujos, él siempre ha dibujado mis esculturas, siempre ha habido cierta mezcla en ese sentido. Pero estos son míos. And sandpaper. Sandpaper is it's very good to have a clean finishing at the end. And I also like in the bas reliefs like that, not to finish perpendicular to the walls, but I want to make like a dimp inside, because it's making something more clear. We can see better the drawing if we make this like line here. Me dice Virginia que debería hacer un taller. Sí, siempre lo digo, pero después yo soy muy mal organizando este tipo de cosas. Entonces estoy buscando a ver si alguien me lo organiza y vamos a Pachas o algo así. Porque de verdad que yo soy vago y malo, es decir, no sé organizar estas cosas. Yo soy bueno en pocas cosas, muy pocas cosas. Y en todo lo demás soy muy malo. Sí, con lo del taller que dices, Virginia me dice que haga el taller y tal. Pero el problema es que no lo puedo hacer aquí, porque mi taller es muy pequeño y muy incómodo y estas cosas. No te creas. Well, all this part is going to be full of mechanisms. It's not drawing yet, but probably there will be a hole here, like it's like something, and after there are going to be lines going somewhere. I still don't know how it's going to be, but just I let you know that there's going to be hidden things here that is going to look complex, and I want these parts very simple, probably split it in two, for example, making some kind of these shapes. So let's do it now, and we will see how it works. So instead of making everything, at least I will finish some of the parts of this relief. So you will see not the whole process in all the pieces, but at least you will see something. Maybe it's going to be more interesting than making a lot of just the same thing everywhere. So I have the main volume here now, and then I want to draw the secondary volumes, we can say. So just let's make the lines at the beginning. Don't make them too deep because we don't have a lot of space. It's a low relief, so it has to. Oh, let's make this here. I think it's going to look nicer if I make this line. I was saying don't make it too deep because we don't have a lot of space for that, so we need to be careful and be sure we have the material we need at the end. Estoy diciendo que cuando marquemos las líneas y hagamos todo esto, pensemos siempre que es un relieve y que no tenemos que pasarnos con la profundidad de las cosas. Es un bajo relieve. Entonces no podemos pasarnos haciendo una línea aquí de 2 milímetros o así, ¿no? Siempre tenemos que trabajar lo más sutil que podamos. Y ahora aquí, esta línea, para que tenga algo de interés, vamos a hacer que en alguna de las partes el volumen se cambie. Por ejemplo, vamos a hacer esto de aquí. So we have to be careful because if we make this volume here bigger than this one here, it's going to be strange. We have to understand that this is a round shape with a small feature inside. So we have to be very careful to not to make a very big thing here. Usually I prefer to make all the general shapes everywhere and after that making these secondary volumes. But as we are making a video, and I'm going to make these exceptions. So that's why I'm starting to make details, and I will make some fine details after that, when even the face is not started yet. Okay, and we have these two lines here that we can decide what's going to happen with this. What I like to think is that that's the part that allows the robot to move. And if we try to keep all the surface with the robotic shapes, it's going to look that it's possible to move. So that's why we need to remove sometimes some of these parts to make this thing look to be able to move somewhere, and there are space in the articulations to blend and to change. So that's why we are going to remove this a little bit as if it was kind of these kind of shapes. A ver, Virginia, que me está diciendo que he visto que hay comentarios, pero no los estoy leyendo. Una cosa buena que tienes, que no has considerado antes y es muy valiosa, paciencia. Yo soy muy poco paciente, ¿eh? La verdad es que con estas cosas no es paciencia, es que me lo paso muy bien. Entonces me entretiene mucho. Paciencia hay que tener cuando te aburres, pero de verdad que a mí lo del relieve me apasiona. Bueno, estaba diciendo que aquí hay que intentar fingir que todo esto son placas y son representaciones de placas y de pequeños volúmenes y de cosas de estas, ¿no? Entonces hay que procurar dejar espacios en donde parezca que hay cosas debajo y cosas encima. Por ejemplo, una cosa que voy a hacer es que pequeña opción aquí debajo. Vamos a romper esto así. Venga, perfecto. Venga, ahora vamos a hacer la rótula. So this is going to be a simple shape. There's nothing major going on here. This part is not moving, it's a fixed part. So it's going to be more or less what it is now, but we need to add something. And this kind of, just a moment. And I love these kind of lines. So that's the only thing we are going to make here. We are going to make this line. Very subtle, very, just a very thin line. Of course, after that, I'm making just one leg now. I will have to copy it when I make this one. I have to imagine how is the leg in the other side. Okay, let's make the lines for this. So if we have this double line here, I suppose we have to make it here also, because repetition is what humans love. So that's what we are going to make. And again, if we have this line here, it would be a good idea to make the same kind of thing here. And I think if it's better to make this, but I think it could work. But maybe, I don't know, I'm just testing. It's better to do this. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to make it in a mirror. In a mirror, I mean, I'm going to make it like in the opposite way on the other side. So this is going to be close here, it's going to move in this direction, and it's going to be here. Yes, that is how it's going to be, but it's going to be splitted here because we need an articulation to rotate the feet, and it's not enough with this one. It's enough if you have a ball, but ball articulations are like very difficult to represent in a sculpture, and they look very simple, and I don't know, I don't like them too much, so I prefer to split the articulation in two parts. And when we rotate the foot, is the same one that we will rotate here. There's no an articulation here, it's just that these two bones are rotating inside all this all this part. So that's what's going to happen. So I need two lines here. That is going to be something I need to mark these lines. Why sometimes I use one tool and why sometimes I use another one, I don't know. I don't have a theory for that, a very clear explanation. It's just that I think it's going to be more comfortable with one or the other one. Estoy diciendo que ¿por qué a veces utilizo una herramienta y a veces utilizo otra? Pues, que es que no tengo ni idea. No tengo teoría para eso y ya sabéis que a mí me gusta tener teorías con pasos y tal, pero no, en este caso no, ¿eh? Y no sé por qué. Simplemente me parece que va a ser más cómodo con una herramienta o con otra. De todas maneras, esto es... Yo voy pensando en qué tipo de forma me gustaría hacer y directamente, gracias a la práctica, claro, no es gracias a un conocimiento mágico, el, el cuerpo entero encuentra la manera de ir haciéndolo. Cuando cambiamos un volumen, por ejemplo, cuando hago esto, no basta con solamente hacer la hendidura, tengo que cambiar toda la naturaleza de todo el volumen para que vuelva a tener unidad geométrica, por decirlo de alguna manera. Siempre. Aunque sea muy sutil, la diferencia va a ser mucha. Que esto sea una forma geométrica haciendo esta forma va a ser diferente que haga así y después de pronto se hunda. Sin más razón aparente que es que ha aparecido de golpe una línea, ¿no? Forma parte de la naturaleza misma de los volúmenes. Mira, Virginia, aquí vas a tener ocasión de comprobar lo que pasa cuando me equivoco. ¿Ves? Aquí me he pasado. Es decir, aquí me he salido de la línea. Entonces habrá que corregir esto sin añadir material aquí. Y se puede hacer de a little bit more, this line a little bit longer here. So I have to fix that. Let me try with sandpaper. Just to clean this shape. When you use the sandpaper, or when I use the sandpaper, don't want to say that you have to make it like me. I usually touch the sandpaper, but I try not to touch it with the finger against the shapes. If that is the plaster, I'm never trying to do this. I'm always trying to make it like that because I want this movement of the sandpaper. It's helping to guide it in the right pressure, so I'm not distorting too much the shape you're with my finger. Right. Well, now I see that this part is too wide here and it should be narrower, so I'm seeing it now and I see that that should go more or less in this way. So I have to remove all this plaster here and we have to make it very carefully. carving reliefs is a lot like solve uh, problem solving all the time, because you are facing different problems. Because I have this shape, but I know that there will be this on that, so I will have not too much space here to play like it here. So it's going to be a problem, and probably when I'm making this, I have to change that a little bit because they are not going to match. But we will find that. Of course, you could make this with plastoline, but the result is different with plastoline. I also have sculpted reliefs with plastoline, but I think the carving is more natural. It's more close to the real language of relief, so I prefer to carve them really. For this kind of old reliefs, ancient language, for something more organic, more, more fantastic, probably is going to be good plastoline. Yeah, Naya is saying, I saw your steampunk helmet. That's going to be? Well, that's a secret just for patrons for the moment. But yes, I'm going to the steampunk convention in Barcelona. So I need an outfit, and that's always something exciting. And I have decided that I'm going to try to be dressed like one of my sculptures, like if I was a real person in that universe. So I'm going to wear part of an armor. No, it's not going to be a complete armor, of course. I have no time for that, but part of it. And it's going to be something with these metallics and rust and textures and blue ceramics. So I hope it's going to be something interesting to make. And probably if it's interesting, that's going to be something new also to sell. Just especially if that's I'm thinking this for the steampunk convention, because people there is not want they don't want to buy sculptures properly. They want things for wear that to wear them themselves, and it's going to be probably more interesting if they can find a wearable helmet or a mask or a polder or something like that. So let's see. I don't have it here now, but I will show you. I will make a video in Patreon for that, for sure. And here I'm going to make the same line I make here, I'm going to make it here, because we want repetition. Well, as I'm making details when it's not time for it, let's make them all. And one thing I love to make is to make these rivets sometimes, like they are built. So probably there I will sculpt a rivet, and as is this is just a bas relief, it's going to be very simple. Estaba diciendo que como total ya estoy haciendo detalles antes de hora, pues que a veces me gusta hacer remaches y este tipo de cosas que demuestren un poco cómo es la tecnología, ¿no? Con la que estas cosas están hechos. Y que, bueno, que aunque no, para mí no sea tiempo de hacer relieves, pues que algunos voy a hacer, ¿no? Al menos para que lo vean. To draw it first with a pen, with pencil, because it's safer. If you see it before making it, you can decide better. Well, let's make these parts now. So as I said, I'm going to make a hole here, and of course this hole is going to be drilled. I think it looks fantastic when it's drilled and it's perfectly round. So let's start with the correct drill first. Okay, I always like this wood drills that they have this point and they are flat here. I think they make very nice shapes. So let's find the center and very carefully, we don't want to go too deep, we are going to make the circle. And now let's think about what would be more, what would have more sense. And I think that it's kind of logic that this part here, it's almost gone because it's like avoiding this leg to be flexed. So this part has to be very in the background. Or maybe even completely split it. Well, that's annoying because sometimes you can't see what you are doing, so you have to be cleaning it all the time. Well, you see, it's too dry now, so I have to spray a little bit of water so it's going to be more sweet, soft, better. Sometimes you can hear the difference. And it needs to be even more. Very straight lines. The best thing is just to use the straight part of the tool and remove everything, and that's all. Okay, we have one part here, and what's happening here? I know that there's going to be something here, I don't know why, but I think this part is going to hold this part, so there's going to be that, and after maybe we could make these two elements. Yes. Okay, that's done. One thing we can make here now is also make like an interior mechanism here. Like, for example, this is going to be underneath the others. It's like they were metal plates. And the other one here, let's make it in the opposite way. So finally it will look that there's something underneath all this part. So as you see, starting with the general shapes, and we can be adding more and more details. So that's going to be all the process for all these shapes, and probably there will be some also details in the part here. So that's a long process, as you see, but it's fun. So I will share with you some of the moments, but not all of it, because it's going to be very, very, very long. So what do you think? Do you think it's interesting? Is boring? Is nonsense? That should be better if it's just 3D printed? What do you think about that? Why are you still working handmade, Thomas? Especially because if it was 3D printed, I could make this one, and this one would be already made. And also I could make this like and just rotate it, and it will be here too. But I'm having so fun making it by hand every step. But I'm not going to change now. Well, let's make the other leg now. So we have to think that everything has to match a little bit, even if I know that the drawing is not matching perfectly, but you have to try. So I'm looking at this distance, and I'm looking at it by eye. This leg is longer than this one, so I have to cheat a little bit. But cheating is good in arts, just in arts. Well, I'm going to need material here, so that this is going to be a problem, but we will see it when we arrive here, when we really arrive here, not now. Bueno, estaba diciendo que es que a veces cuando lo hago en dos idiomas me pierdo en uno y no me acuerdo del otro. Que vamos a hacer la otra pierna. Y que yo ya sé, porque ya me acuerdo cuando hice el dibujo, que esta pierna es más larga que esta. Entonces hay que ir, copiar más o menos el mismo formato, pero sabiendo que no son exactamente iguales. Entonces hay que hacer trampas. Entonces ahora, en vez de meternos ahora con los detalles, que no es momento, porque tenemos que hacer la forma básica, que tenemos una forma plana, y recordad que lo primero que teníamos que hacer era... I'm seeing the comments, and when I said that it's good to cheat, I was saying just in art, and Barbara, she's my partner, she's saying just in art, please. Yes, just in art, Barbara, don't worry about that. Yes, IGN is saying that it's looking like the Xenoform. I know it is looking like it, but my direct references for this kind of head is more in Egypt, like that egg-shaped head I showed you once. Or also in America we have these schools make it in real. They were warping the babies to distort the schools to get something like that. And so my direct reference is coming from there. And I'm sure that, well, I'm not sure. I imagine that the reference for Alien and the xenophons is also coming from the same place. I didn't know you were here, Barbara. Well, I can't go too deep here because I have this leg. So this area is going to be complicated because I don't have too much space. So we'll have to cheat again, but again, just in art. The art is about cheating. Movies are, movie making is all cheating. Sculpture is, I think, is the more realistic, the more real art, with the theater also. Because painting is a lot of cheating too. They are not images from another world. They are no windows to another world. They are part of our world. So it's more real. It's less cheating than movie making, for example, or painting. But relief is more related to drawing. So yes, relief is a lot of about faking things and cheating. Oh, I make a mistake here, so I have to solve it later. Well, let's see now how should I solve that. A ver, Virginia, me acabo de equivocar, con la herramienta le he dado un golpe a este, como ves tiene un rayote. Entonces la solución para mí podría ser añadir material, ¿no? Ir a hacer más escayola y tal. Pero como te he dicho antes, yo no quiero añadir más escayola, quiero jugar con lo que hay. Entonces lo que voy a hacer es rascar hasta que el rayote desaparece. Y eso me va a dar, además, más profundidad a la escultura, porque sin yo haberlo decidido, de golpe tengo aquí algo que es diferente. Que es diferente a lo que yo había pensado, que es en realidad solventar un problema, ¿no? Pero le he añadido un pequeño detalle de profundidad también a la pieza. O sea que no siempre es malo que haya problemas. De hecho, hoy estábamos hablando de creatividad con Bárbara, justamente. Porque estoy preparando un vídeo sobre creatividad y dónde sacamos las ideas, ya lo veréis. Y ella tiene una creatividad. Mi creatividad se basa mucho en el aburrimiento. No tener nada que hacer y se me ocurren cosas. En cambio, la creatividad de Bárbara funciona más como solucionando problemas. Haciendo cosas, si se le presentan problemas, tiene que resolverlos. Y esa resolución suele ser muy creativa en su caso. En cambio, si se sienta a pensar, pues es menos, a ver cómo decirlo, se le va menos la olla, ¿no? Que cuando tiene una urgencia y tiene que encontrar una solución rápida para algo. Ahí es muy buena Bárbara. Yo, en cambio, me pongo muy nervioso y no funciona tan bien, ¿no? Pues esto sería un caso de problema que hemos tenido que solucionar y ha generado algo interesante. Bueno, antes de seguir aquí dando forma, dejadme que marque estas líneas. Muy sutiles, pero las marcaré. Well, here it's very important not to lose the center point of the chest here. So it's going to make something like that. So the profile line is going to be here. So I need to make that this volume is not going to be completely round. I need something that is going to be kind of flat. Let me see if I can make it a little bit clear and not making a mess. So this is going to be the flat part of the frontal area in a very structured way. And this is going to be in the other way. Can you see what I mean? And here I need to make this hole bigger. I need more water for that. Not too much, but I need more space here to work. Okay, and now I have the space enough to try to make this round. Tiene que ver con la dirección del volumen. A ver, a ver cómo lo explico. ¿Vale? Tenemos este volumen, tiene la parte redonda que va hacia aquí. ¿Vale? Entonces, para lijar, por ejemplo, yo puedo lijar o haciendo así, que lo he hecho ahora un poco, pero no es lo suyo, o lijando en esta dirección. ¿Vale? Entonces, el papel de lija puede ir en las dos direcciones, pero hay una que va mejor que la otra. Y la norma para eso es que el deseo es mejor que el cariño para esto. ¿Vale? Y lo que quiero decir con esto es que cuando tú acaricias en el muslo a alguien, si lo haces con cariño, vas a tener tendencia a hacerle así, como decirle, no pasa nada, todo está bien. Pero si lo haces con deseo, te vas a tener tendencia a hacerlo en esta otra dirección. Lo mismo en el brazo y lo mismo en cualquier parte del cuerpo. Si lo pensáis con deseo sexual, va a salir un movimiento que va en la dirección correcta del volumen, ¿no? Que sería esta de aquí. O esta de aquí, no, pero en esta dirección. En cambio, si lo hacemos simplemente con cariño, va a ser en la otra. Entonces, para lijar, para dibujar la forma, es muchísimo mejor el deseo que el cariño. Por tanto, hacerlo con deseo y no con cariño. Was saying a very important thing now, and it's about the volume and the direction for the volume. I was sanding now, and I could sand in this direction or in this direction. So I could make this movement or this movement. And the rule for me is that the desire, the sexual desire, something really sensual, is better than the love. I have better words for that in Spanish. I mean, if you want to show someone that you are close to him, but in a very decent way, you are going to make this kind of caresses. You are going to touch it in this direction. If you want to express something more sensual, more you know about what I'm talking about, you are going to make it in this direction, and it's going to be the same in the arms and in everywhere in the body. So it's always better the desire than the cariño. ¿Cómo sería cariño in English? Than the love, than the or the friendship. Maybe we could say it's better. It's a better word. Okay, so I have now the main shape of that is correct. So I have to make the features that we have made in the other leg. Okay, of course, this we make exactly the same. So let's do that exactly. So the first thing I'm going to make is this shape, and after that, this is going to be here. And this. Because if it's the same, it's going to be more easy to read. We don't want to make something very complex. And we want the people to understand very well what's happening here. These are robots, there are going to be a lot of features on them. So we don't want to make it more complex than it's going to be already. Sorry, I think the proportions here is not correct. As I said before, this part is longer than this. I know that's a mistake in the drawing, but it's a mistake that we are going to kind of solve or live with it. And now we have to repeat everything. I have prepared a video for tomorrow on Patreon. It's going to be about creativity, and I'm going to talk about a crazy horse. It's a very personal video, and I hope it's going to be interesting for you. I'm not sure, but we will see. It's made in the chicken house because it's about creativity, and I try to make all the videos about creativity in the chicken house. Don't ask me why. There's not a logical reason for that. Well, I have made a mistake here, so I have destroyed this part that should be this. So we are going to cheat here, and we are going to make the opposite. This kind of mistakes that after that some people see and ask me why this is in reverse, and this is just because I make mistakes sometimes. So in this leg, the hole instead here is going to be here. So this is going to be that part, and this is going to be the hole. So you can see how I try to solve the mistakes. I know also that most people won't see this part, so I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, I have to draw because I have to say that this is going to be this leg and underneath this the other one. And it has to be more or less clear. And after that we have the rivets. So there's going to be one here and one here. And I think we are going to finish for today, because even if I have made just a little bit of the whole thing, you have seen all the process. So I hope it was kind of interesting for you. So you can see it here before. This is how it was, and this is how it is now. So I have to make everything. It's going to be long because you see this has been just an hour, so you can imagine it's going to be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 6, 12 hours probably just for the two figures. That depends, because after that maybe you find a better way, or you solve things in another way, so it depends, but more or less it's going to be that. So thank you very much, really thank you very much. I hope you enjoy that part, and see you very soon. Goodbye.